Welcome back to the Thinking Crypto podcast, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. If you are new here, please hit that subscribe button as well as the thumbs up button and leave a comment below. If you're listening on a podcast platform such as Apple, Spotify, or Google, please leave a 5-star rating and review. It supports the podcast and it doesn't cost you anything. This content is brought to you by Uphold, which is a great platform where you can buy, sell, trade cryptocurrencies, precious metals, and equities. I've been using Uphold since 2017. They have 10 plus million users, 250 plus cryptocurrencies, and they're available in 150 countries. As with all exchanges, you can buy and sell on them, but I highly recommend you custody your own crypto, not your keys, not your coins. If you'd like to learn more about Uphold, please visit the link in the description. All right, my friends, let's jump into the news. First up, Elon Musk is tweeting about Doge. So we had a random tweet today. Elon tweeted at a high time, I confess, I let the Doge out. And the image he put on his tweet here was, it was me, I let the dogs out. So on its face, it's like, oh, great, Elon's tweeting about Doge again. But remember, when Elon starts tweeting about Doge, it's usually when the market is moving upwards. And this is another item to put in the basket of Bitcoin's retracement is coming, and that Bitcoin may go to 40 to 50,000 in the next few months, and the alts will follow, and we'll see a nice bullish rally. However, not a true bull market, as in post Bitcoin halving bull market, right? This is not any movement to new all-time highs; is just a retracement. So this is, once again, I look at these things over time. I look at what people do, their behaviors, their habits, the things they say. The fact that Elon's randomly all of a sudden starting to tweet about Doge, that makes me bullish. Not that I'm bullish on Doge, but rather the entire market, of course. Now, let's jump into the news, which I think is super important, guys, because it talks about NFTs and securities and what corrupt regulator Gary Gensler may do. So, federal judge denies Dapper Labs' plea to dismiss TopShot class action. Dapper Labs, the issuer behind the popular NFT collection announced in 2019, will have to continue with a class action suit filed in 2021, claiming it offered an unregistered security. So the TLDR here, the NBA TopShot NFTs, which of course covers the NBA highlights of their stars, the clips, and so on and so forth, right? Pretty straightforward. Dapper Labs was sued saying that their NFTs were securities. So it's a bit complex here, and I'm going to give you some of the details. But what I'm worried about is that Goldman Gary Gensler is going to jump on this opportunity to say, see, all NFTs are securities, because we see he's been on a tear lately. He's taking the Howey test above and beyond its scope, right? He's trying to put everything under the securities umbrella. And we have to be careful here, because it's the wild, wild west for the regulators like Gary Gensler. They're doing whatever they want. And this is why we need Congress to act. So let me give you some more details here, guys. The class action suit filed in 2021 claims the Moments collection, the digital video clips of highlights from NBA games, are securities, and by issuing them, Dapper Labs violated the law. Here's a quote: an NFT constitutes an investment contract under Howey. Mario wrote in the ruling, citing the Howey test used to determine whether an asset is a security under U.S. law. And this is Judge Victor Mario, by the way. He's a U.S. district judge. And in the motion to dismiss, Dapper Labs alleged the plaintiffs used Dapper's native flow token to confuse the court. The NBA Moments and Flow tokens are separate entities, Dapper Labs added. Mario agreed that while Flow and NBA Moments are two separate products, Dapper ignores that Flow is part of the economic realities of the investment scheme in dispute. The case, if it makes it to trial, has the potential to set a precedent for NFTs and securities laws. Now, one user who covers law, tech, and Web3, Jeremy Goldman, he gave some insights here, and I wanted to share what he said. He said, to be clear, this does not mean that Dapper Labs lost the case. This also does not mean Moments are securities. it just means the allegations in a complaint, if all true, are plausible enough to state a potential claim. And it definitely does not mean that NFTs in general are securities. The decision is laser focused on the specific facts of the case, including the role of Dapper Labs' float, blockchain, and marketplace. So once again, you have to look at the details here, right? You can't just look at the headline. What is actually happening? But we know Gary Gensler, he doesn't care about the details. He would love that all NFTs be under the securities umbrella, more of the land grab, right? More draconian rules and regulations. And these NFTs of, whatever they may be, photos, pictures, and so forth, are not inherently by their nature or their foundation securities, as we've talked about. Just the same way the orange grows or the oranges in the Howie situation are not securities. They're just fruits. They just exist. They're just things. What is the nuance here of what is a security and what is not is how they are contracted or put together. What type of scheme, right? Is the person who's offering you or selling you these things, are they trying to do some sort of scheme where it does fall under securities? That's what's important. But Gary and the SEC are trying to say, no, by themselves, without a contract or not, these things are securities. That's asinine, right? That's completely crazy. And this is why Hester Peirce, and by the way, I'll be interviewing her again, Commissioner Hester Peirce, had said, even on my podcast, that she is trying to get the folks at the SEC to think of the tokens not as securities, but rather, how are they being packaged, right? Not every token is the same. Not every crypto project is the same. That's logical, right? You approach it looking at each one differently, and you don't approach it, well, automatically the token's a security. No, but how were they offered? Was it through an ICO? And so on and so forth. And the fact that, if they're trying to say, the SEC is, they're trying to say NFTs as is are securities, that's wild. That means the baseball cards I have in my storage, right? The basketball cards, the baseball cards, the hockey cards I collected as a kid, held the Pokemon cards, right? They are securities. That is so stupid, right? So this is what we're dealing with here, but this is the draconian overreach by the SEC and Gary Gensler. And I'm afraid that, or I shouldn't say I'm afraid, I'm concerned that Gary and the SEC is going to try to use things like this to say, okay, we're going to try to go after all these NFT projects. So this is why we need Congress to act, and we have to keep fighting. We have to contact our regulators, contact our representatives, and continue to tweet, email, make content. We have to put pressure on Congress to then take action against Gary Gensler, guys. We have to do it the same way we did with the infrastructure bill. So this is not good, my friends. Once again, it's not the end of the world for Dapper Labs and so on and so forth, but we are in a very crazy time in the crypto market where you have these regulators, like I said, in the wild, wild west, like Gary, just going after everything. Doesn't matter if it aligns with the Howey test or not. He's just casting a wide net, trying to pull everything under the securities umbrella. So we have to keep a close eye on things like this. Now, speaking of the SEC and battling the SEC, Cody Carbone of the Digital Chamber shared the following today. He said, "Wow, let the showdown begin." From Coinbase earnings report. Here's a quote: "We may determine not to remove a particular crypto asset from Coinbase spot market, even if the SEC or another regulator alleges that the crypto asset is a security. Litigation and court rulings are the fate of the U.S. regulatory landscape for crypto. If the SEC continues down their enforcement path in favor of rulemakings, it is up to Congress to intervene." Absolutely right. So does that mean they're going to relist XRP? Well, let's see what happens, guys, because it sounds like they're setting the precedents here. They're putting a stake in the ground, saying, hey, we don't care what the SEC says. It's going to be up to the courts, and we're not going to remove assets and do this and that and whatever, because the SEC is out of control. Like we're talking about, they don't even try to align things to the Howey test. It's just like, hey, this is a security, that's a security, everything's a security. Stablecoins are a security, right? Everything is, they're trying to make a security. It's crazy. So let's see what Coinbase does here. I hope they do the right thing and follow these words that they penned in their earnings report. I think it will really help the industry because they're the largest U.S. exchange, and other smaller exchanges may follow suit. Now, speaking of Coinbase, Circle Euro stablecoin finally gets a run on Coinbase. Trading of the Euro OC or Euro C on Coinbase will begin at 9 a.m. PT. So that was today, February 22nd, pending liquidity conditions. So this is like the USDC, which is the US stablecoin. This is the Euro stablecoin, of course, created by Circle. So stablecoins on the rise, and that's what's part of the future, the token economy. Stablecoins, CBDCs, digital assets, crypto, all of these things will be part of the digital token economy. Now, something else from Coinbase. Yes, it's a lot of Coinbase news today. They tweeted out a teaser of something that's coming tomorrow. So they dated February 23rd, 2023. And it's a short video, about 6 seconds long, and it shows a blue ball. So I'm not sure what this is. People were making some jokes like, why is Coinbase giving us blue balls? So we shall see what the hype is here and what's going to be released tomorrow. So, check out Coinbase tomorrow, maybe around noon Eastern, they'll probably release something. Let's move ahead, guys. We got some big news around MasterCard and USDC, the Circle stablecoin. You can pay crypto instantly from your Web3 wallet anywhere MasterCard is accepted. So it looks like, let me give you the details. Web3 startup aims for MasterCard purchases via Ethereum wallets. Web3 startup Immersive is preparing a new MasterCard-powered product for Ethereum users across Australia and New Zealand. Folks, this is adoption. This is adoption, the token economy, right? There's gonna be different blockchains and different use cases in different parts of the world. That's okay, as long as I'm holding the native tokens of many of these blockchains, such as I hold Ether, which is the native token of Ethereum. I hold XRP, the native token of the XRP ledger, and so on and so forth. So using the upcoming Immersive branded MasterCard, local users will be able to pay anywhere MasterCard is accepted while tracking transactions via linked Ethereum addresses. As part of the move, Auckland-based Immersive said it is partnering with an undisclosed third-party settlement provider where customers will use the stablecoin USDC for all purchases, according to a Tuesday statement. USDC will then be immediately converted to fiat and settled on MasterCard's network. Know your customer and anti-money laundering checks, online fraud detection, and blockchain analytics will also be handled via MasterCard's identity services and compliance firm CipherTrace's tech stack. Folks, this is bullish. One of the world's largest credit card companies, a well-known name, existed before crypto, is adopting crypto. They're adopting a stable coin here. Pretty amazing. And, I'm sure these countries will be a kind of the testing ground, and then they'll expand to other markets. And we'll see if things like this start to pop up here in the United States. But a lot of these companies are a bit nervous because of the lack of regulatory clarity. Now, speaking of stable coins here, we got Congressman Tom Emmer, who I've had on the podcast many times. And we've often talked about CBDCs. I've often, asked them questions about, hey, our right to privacy, right? Will the US digital dollar maintain our right to privacy? So he tweeted out today, I introduced the CBDC Anti-Surveillance State Act to halt efforts of unelected bureaucrats in Washington, D.C. from stripping Americans of their right to financial privacy. So this is great, guys. We need this, right? Where if you are in the United States, this is definitely something you want to see. And, the United States, if it were to put a stance like this, like, hey, we're not going to track X amount of spending and whatever it is so that we don't lose our right to privacy, other countries may follow suit. And I say may, obviously each country can do what it wants. But, this is one thing that really concerns me about CBDCs. I do believe CBDCs are going to be beneficial for crypto. I've talked about it will help people to on-ramp faster onto crypto, understand blockchain tech, because the government's going to educate them about what this is, how it works, and so forth. And I'm very curious as to, you know, with the governments around the world, which blockchains they're going to issue these CBDCs on, right? I think that's going to be very bullish news when that information is released. So great to see that this is being put out here. I think this is a move in the right direction. Let's hope the government, you know, acts on this and puts the guardrails in place. Now, finally, Dan Tapiero's 10T Holdings, they're launching a crypto PE firm backed by Alan Howard. Many of you may recall I had interviewed Dan Tapiero, I think it was in 2020 or 2021, one of those years. And he, of course, is an old school investor. And then now he's investing in crypto, and he's launched major funds with millions of dollars investing in crypto companies. So the former CEO of Sotheby's has been tapped as an advisory partner for Tapiero's launch. Dan Tapiero of 10T Holdings is launching a crypto private equity fund amid deeply discounted valuations, targeting a $1 billion capital raise backed by hedge fund billionaire Alan Howard and a host of other prominent investors. See what's happening here, my friends? Smart money. They see blood on the streets. They see valuations are down. What do? You go buy it up, and then you hold and you be patient, because the bull market's coming back and these companies will grow. And eventually, once again, crypto is just going to be part of the economy, guys. You know, look, just think 5 years from now, how different it's going to be from now, right? It's going to be big, guys. And we've talked about it in the token economy and so forth. So these guys, they see what's on the horizon, and look, they're targeting $1 billion, and they're going to go scoop up tokens and companies and so forth. So Tapiero is leading up the launch of the growth-focused private equity startup, dubbed a natural evolution of the investment strategy created at 10T Holdings, according to the firm's marketing materials, which were obtained by Blockworks. It says here the 10T founder is serving as One Roundtable Partners chief executive, chief investment officer, and managing partner. He's targeting a whopping $1 billion capital raise by the end of the third quarter, when One Roundtable's flagship vehicle, One RT Opportunities Fund, plans to conduct a capital raise. Folks, smart money, not dismayed. They're not disappointed. They're not discouraged. They're not down. They are looking macro. They don't care about Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX and all the garbage that happened last year. These guys are raising money. They're ready to go scoop up these companies, scoop up the tokens and everything, and hold for the next bull market and future bull markets. I hope you have the same mindset and you're looking at the market. You, of course, do your own research. Don't invest your life savings, right? Be smart, but opportunity of a lifetime here. And I hope you see what these big players are doing. Not everyone is paying attention to this news. You go talk to the average Joe and Jane. Hey, do you know who Dan Tapiero is? Do you know 10T Holdings? No, who's that? Right? They're not paying attention. So if you're here and you're paying attention, you know, tap yourself on the back here, and the opportunities before you. Study the market cycles, and you know, look at how the things have played out in the past, and that'll give you a good foundation as to what to expect in the future. And I've been through the bull and bear markets. I've been through 2 bull markets, 2 bear markets. I've learned my lessons, what to do, what not to do. I am dollar cost averaging. I've been accumulating. I have my long-term holds. I swing trade some short-term coins and so forth, but I'm looking for big money. And I made money in the last bull market. I'm looking to do the same thing in the 2024, 2025 bull markets. And I hope you will be here and you make your, you know, your appropriate investments, and you study, you do your research. Once again, you can talk to a financial advisor, but you have to understand it yourself, right? You have to do the research. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think. Leave your thoughts and comments below, and I'll talk to you all later.